What if suddenly the simplest things became the most complicated? Tying your shoes, fixing your meals, driving your car. For the man you're about to meet, the ordinary has never come easily. But then he's been doing the extraordinary since the day he was born. Here's Bob Dotson with a Dateline survivor story.
This is going to rev up real fast.
Marty Revelette lives his life with a single-mindedness that blots out everything but challenge. Born with no arms, he is determined to remove the obstacles that stand in his way, no matter how big they are.
I wasn't born without any arms for no reason. There was purpose and meaning in it. I began to realize this was my gift.
A gift he uses successfully.
This lawnmower's been with me for 15 years.
Marty owns a business in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, he laughingly calls hands-on landscaping.
If somebody says you can't do that because you don't have any arms, I says, let me show you.
He did just that. Driving home from work, Marty saw this van burning by the side of the road.
As I came up to the scene, I saw the smoke bellowing from the van. And as I went by, I caught a red coat out of the corner of my eye. And I said to my wife, somebody's in that van.
Marty pulled over and ran through the smoke toward a face pressed against glass. 86-year-old Elma Snediger. Flames from the engine swirling around her.
When I saw the flames, I said, this is it. If it hits the gasoline, I'm a goner.
The fire melted the power door locks. They jammed. Elma could not get out.
I went like this. It said, lady, watch your eyes. And I went up like this, and I hit this window about 4 times. And the 4th time it shattered. Boom.
You did that with your foot?
I hit it with my heel.
You had no shoes on when you kicked it in?
No shoes.
Blinded by bravery, Marty didn't notice he cut his foot. Elma was safe. Not a scratch on her, nor a moment to spare.
About 10 feet away from the van, smoke and flames just started shooting up.
That may seem extraordinary to us, but to Marty, it was just another challenge.
Wham! I knew I could do it too. I had no thoughts that I couldn't. All the thoughts was yes, 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 yes. But then that's been my life. I knew I could do anything and everything.
A life that seems to circle back to moments like this again and again. Marty grew up here at the Good Shepherd's Home for Crippled Children in Allentown, Pennsylvania, abandoned by his parents, poor farmers who couldn't take care of a child with no arms.
The teacher's pet in this menage is a young man who doesn't yet realize the handicap he must learn to overcome.
As a baby, Marty was featured in a 1941 film about the Good Shepherd Home.
But if you think he's going to be allowed to relax while others wait on him, you're wrong. He can feed himself as well as the next fellow now.
Marty attended public school, unlike many handicapped children at the time, because he had already learned to use his feet like hands. Problem was, he was embarrassed to do so, until the principal insisted.
I wouldn't take my shoes off and write because I looked around and said, well, there's nobody else doing it. 3rd day, the principal came in and says, you take your shoes off. I says, no, I won't. And he picked me up and carried me into the office and spanked me. And I went back and I wrote my name on a piece of paper. And I was never afraid of anything or anybody since.
The foundation for the rest of his life. The courage to overcome his disability.
I learned to play baseball. I could pitch hardball and softball. I was an excellent swimmer. I took a bronze medal in a diving meet when I was 14 years old.
At what point in your life did you realize, hey, I'm normal?
I knew I was normal when I was 10, 11 years old. I looked in the mirror and saw that little boy with no arms in his skivvies, and I didn't see the fellow with no arms. I knew I was normal. Different, but normal.
But painfully, not everyone else saw Marty the same way.
As a teenager, you want to hold a girl in your arms?
Oh, yes.
You want to ask a girl to the prom?
When I was a senior in high school, I asked this junior if she would go to the prom with me, and she turned around and looked and says, Marty, when I get married, I want to marry a man, not a half of one.
A moment that could have destroyed him. But something else happened instead.
I had to rediscover who was the man and began to realize that the human being comes from within.
In time, Marty did find a woman who understood him, a woman like him, born without arms. Their marriage didn't last, but they did have 2 children, born with arms. First, a daughter.
When my daughter was born, I couldn't hold her in my arms. And oh, I wanted to. Just like anybody else would hold their first child in their arms.
A son was born, too, who shared his name, Marcus.
There was a great attachment there between my son and I. He was the spitting image of me with 2 arms. I was very close to him.
You denied him nothing. When 4-year-old Marcus begged to ride in the back of the family pickup, Marty said yes. The truck hit a bump. The boy bounced out. Marty tried to save him, but without arms, could not give him mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Your son was laying there on the ground and you couldn't help him because you
I
had
knew
no
what
arms.
to do, too.
But when police arrived, Marcus was dead.
I said, Lord, why would you take my only son? And then I looked back to the little green bag again and I said, Marcus, forgive your daddy for what happened.
Too late for that. But on another roadside, 33 years later, Marty found redemption.
Oh, you got something in your fingers.
Elma Snedeker owes her life to Marty's resolve never to be so helpless again.
Get another one out here. Got it? Good.
The lessons of life Marty hoped to teach his son will not be lost. He's sharing them with William Lawrence, another little boy just like Marty, struggling through the world, born without arms.
Watch. When you hook him, you go right underneath that dorsal fin.
The 2 met a few months ago when Marty gave a speech at William's school.
This is yours. Looks like they're gonna bite real quick. I need to show him how he can learn to survive. Got a lot of slack there. We live in a cruel world.
William learned the basics on his own. He uses his feet to brush his teeth, get dressed, even play games.
Got it.
Come on, William. Quick, reel.
But
I'll hold it.
Marty
Reel it,
is
reel it,
nurturing
reel it in.
his
Come on.
spirit.
It's a big one.
He's a monster.
I need to show William how to be happy under every condition.
There you go. Slide him over.
That when you get up in the morning, it's going to be another day, a new day.
He's a nice one, isn't he?
And what am I going to learn today?
He is teaching William to find the joy in a challenge, like riding a bike or driving a lawnmower.
Away, William. You're doing good.
You know, when I watched you helping William, you looked like a proud papa.
I was proud because he was doing it, but I was also proud of the fact that this man can learn more. It's not going to be easy for him, and that's the part that I worry about. Is he willing to struggle with it when it doesn't come easy?
This is gonna be hard.
Is it going to be hard? Okay, do it the way you want to then.
Struggle to live a normal life.
What's he taught you didn't know how to do before?
He taught me how to feel good about myself. When you do something wrong, just be proud of yourself.
Marty hopes that when the world treats William unkindly, when people stare or turn their heads so as not to see him, William will know it is not he who is handicapped.
I look at the handicapped world today, and I find that the wheelchair man is accepted far greater than he's ever been accepted. The blind person has been accepted far greater than he's ever been accepted. But that man with no arms, he's still struggling.
How do you keep from being bitter?
Bitter doesn't help you. Bitter doesn't show people or help people.
We got a big one again.
This was God giving me a gift, and he says, now go out and show the power of one man, but not by your words, but by your deeds and your actions.
We're going.
Let them speak for you.
Marty is now happily remarried. It was his wife who helped him pull Elma Snedeker out of the burning van. Though saving lives is something new for Marty, recognition isn't. He's been honored as the outstanding handicapped person in 2 different states, and he's even earned a citation from the White House.